It's that time again. One Punch Man Season 2 Episode 2 is out. So let's go over the visuals and see how JC Staff fared this week. I'll even have my own bit of commentary as a bonus. Starting with Garo, whom you might remember from Season 1 as the troublesome disciple of Silverfang. You might also remember that he was blonde in Season 1. The decision to make his hair gray here makes him appear less youthful than he actually is. But on the other hand, it also makes him more intimidating and distinct. Because of those reasons, I think these changes work for the story just fine. The artwork for the facial expressions continue to be a strength for JC Staff. If you had to complain, there's a small gradient effect on some of the skin tone which could be considered unnecessary. Especially when considering that JC Staff is already doing 2 or 3 tone shading on the skin, same as One Punch Man Season 1. I don't get why they would even go to the extra lengths to do this. It just makes the characters look like they have some kind of weird skin rash. This gradient effect is also heavily used to color all the metallic surfaces. Season 1 simply colored Speed of Sound Sonic's armor with 4-tone shading. In Season 2, his armor seems to be color-filled with a chrome texture. This seems to be a stylistic choice on JC Staff's part so they can add in modern lighting effects. But the more complex, blotchy digital shading does in some cases clash with the simpler solid-filled tone shading. What is going on with the coloring around Gino's hair here? Anyways, let's get to the most important aspect of One Punch Man that everybody watches this show for. And that is the Oppai, of course. One of the more peculiar aspects of a show like One Punch Man, which plays very loose and fast with realistic expectations, is that despite the whatever goes anything setting, the funniest thing might be that human women can still not compete physically with men. When Saitama went to the hero testings, all the other applicants were male. At least like 99.9% of them. Not to be outdone, JC Staff added their own little spin to make the women in One Punch Man seem more grounded, removing some of their perks here and there, which Fubuki would soon fix with her own telekinetic powers. But seriously, in a world where you can gain superpowers for practically any ridiculous reason, Fubuki is one of the only 2 female heroes that we know of, the other one being her sister, and both of them had to be rare babies born with their powers instead of training to get them. So all things considered, it was actually pretty hard to get to this point, but at last finally, we are able to get our first main fanservice character! No, I wasn't serious here. Fubuki is actually a strong woman that ought to be respected.
お前はヒーローを分かってない。自分より弱い手下を集めて強くなった気でいるお前には無理だ。いつか泣かされる。派閥、新人狩り、ランキング、関係ねえじゃねえか。ヒーローなめんじゃねえぞ、この野郎。
Are you just gonna sit there and let him shit talk you like that, Fubuki? He's clearly a hypocrite who cares about his ranking.
あの程度でこんなにランクが上がるのか。よし、それなら俺も同行します。来んなよ。なんかあったらまたお前の手柄になっちまうだろ。スケああ、だってまあ71点の C 級だしな。俺は重大な問題に気づいてショックを受けてる最中だ。知名度が低い。他のヒーローが俺くらい活躍をしてる現場なんて見たことがない。もはや誰もが知ってていいんじゃないか。もっとファンとかいても不自然じゃないだろう。
Call him out on this bullshit. All jokes aside, although Fubuki's bundle of necklaces has been reduced to a single necklace, which keeps changing shapes, I think Fubuki is actually animated pretty well. More animation than Season 1 where the characters are just standing there with speed lines shaking the camera up and down. JC Staff knows where to put its budget. Who cares about these scenes with no main characters missing keyframes? My wife needs her bangs to look wavy. I actually like this particular scene here. It makes Garo look more intimidating, and reminds me of earlier styles of animation. Although it is inconsistent with the rest of the animation, so it doesn't really set a mood. I know Garo is supposed to be depicted as super fast here, but it feels like a lot more got cut here than just this guy's arm. At least the flame effects seem to have been hand-drawn. For all the moving camera shots they have in the show, they could have used it here to make the punch seem more impactful. Not the best animation from JC Staff here, but it's not like Season 1 isn't full of these budget cuts as well. At least we get to see them getting knocked back in motion. Finally, moving on to the speed of Sound Sonic vs. Genos fight scene. While this may have been a contest of speed, I still felt there were too many moments where the scene cut straight to the characters, teleporting behind each other. In order to convey a proper sense of speed, having actual, fluid, high frame rate animation is very important. After all, our sense of speed comes from how fast something is moving in relation to something else, with the characters having very little actual movement through space. It felt like the characters were just bouncing around in a phone booth, especially with the very in-your-face way this was shot. The angle at which this was shot just so they can transpose the frame to make it look like there was movement makes the transition between cuts where it goes from the anime doing its thing to following the manga panel very awkward. Wasn't his head tilted upwards? Why is it suddenly facing downwards? You should probably just read the manga as it establishes spatial relationships much better, making the action much clearer. It even has more keyframes in some cases. I'm not even going to criticize these types of scenes other than the motion blur being a little bit too much, which made it hard to see the action they actually did draw, because Season 1 had a bunch of these types of cuts that were extremely noticeable. There was only a couple of actual movements in this scene, one already depicted by the manga itself, pretty much, and another one featuring a pretty cool double backflip. The rest of it is pretty much just what you see in the manga. So unless you like computer effects, I would suggest that you just read the manga for this episode, which covered chapters 42 to 45, as the director doesn't have the best grasp for action. But that's it for now. Hope you liked my analysis, and remember to subscribe and like for more content. Peace!